See here. All right, I got the chat pulled up. Let me know. I'm gonna close the door real quick. I'll be right back. All right. We back. We back. We are live. If anyone has any questions, y'all can put them in the chat. I've got the chat open on my phone. And until somebody asks a question, I'm going to be studying some Jiu Jitsu. We're working on closed guard the next couple weeks in the gym, even though I won't be in the gym next week because I'm going on vacation. I'm still going to research some more closed guard stuff, see if I can pick up any tips and tricks. If anyone has a question, I'll try to answer it, and I'll try to prove it with Jiu Jitsu videos off of what I have in my memory box. So we'll see. Let's get started.
To overview how to actually set these techniques up in sparring. Also, if you guys like the content, be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. So the first thing to understand with attacking from close guard is to do pretty much any attack, I have to break his posture forward. If he's up really tall, it's hard to go for arm bars, it's hard to go for triangles, so we need to bring him forward. So just to demonstrate, if he puts his hands in the air like Frankenstein here, if I do this kind of pulling my knees to my chest and crunching really tightly, I create this off-balance motion that pulls him forward and breaks his posture. Of course, when I do that, he's actually going to frame and use his hands to support himself. There's four main ways he will do this. He will either put his hands on the floor to get support. He'll put both hands on the hips low like this to get support. He'll do one high, one low to get support, or he'll go both high. So all I need to do is develop a good answer for how to break each of those postures and then trap him in a position that I can attack from. So the first one I'm going to focus on is both hands on the hips. When he has both hands on the hips, he has control, but it's very easy to pull him over top of his own hands. So I'm going to grab both lapels. I do that same crunch motion and pull my knees to my chest, and you'll see it kind of buckles him over the hands. So as he goes here, he has to switch his hand position because it's no longer supporting him. So very often he will go to the floor. He could come to my chest. I'll show how to deal with that later. So very often he'll kind of come to the floor, and I immediately go over and grab behind this tricep. I'm going to really fast shrimp out, and I want to trap this arm. Once I trap, I could go to the belt and leave my foot on the hip like this to trap so it's locked in. I could overhook and feed the lapel like this. If it was no-gi, I could just control like this. I just want to make sure this arm is isolated. So once I've isolated this, now it's very easy to force the triangle. I just block his bicep. I shrimp out on my side because the more I'm on my side, the easier it is to bring the leg out. From here, I block the bicep. I grab the wrist if needed, and I come around for the triangle choke here. If he lifts his arm up a little bit, sometimes instead of going this way, I'll go around the outside. I release and hit the triangle. Once I hit the triangle, I just lock, I bridge my hips, push the arm across the body to prevent him from posturing, control the head. I like to open my leg a little bit as I adjust because I want his neck to cut in tightly to my leg. Like if you imagine a nutcracker, it has the most force when it's all the way in, right? So even if this looks tight, there's this little gap here that I can't finish. I want my leg straight so I can cut down, and now I lock in here, and then I can finish with just using my legs. So another really common situation from this overhook situation is your opponent will get his forearm really tight to your body. So from here, it's really hard to push. So I come up on my elbow, I pummel my fingers in first, and now I can slide back and use my forearm on the inside. Once I get my elbow tight in here, it's very difficult for him to get back in, and I can slowly grind my way out. Pretty much all he can do is try to pull his arm back, but I can block, and this eventually leads to the wrist. Once I get the wrist, I try to get more distance, and it becomes really easy to pull out and finish. So the next main position the guy's gonna be in is one high and one low. In this case, if I try to do the initial pull, he has so much frame here, it's very hard to break him down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a cross sleeve grip. I pummel underneath, grab my own wrist. I'm gonna make my left wrist really strong like this, and I drive that into his wrist. That's gonna break his grip. I don't immediately drag it across because often he's gonna re-grab the lapel. So once I break, I grab his wrist. Now when he tries to grab my lapel, I can use that momentum to drag the sleeve across. From here, I'm gonna switch my hand to the tricep first. I don't go straight to the back because he's often gonna try to pull his elbow back. So I wanna freeze this here and go ahead and pull it back. Now I shrimp out and I wanna sit up and bring my chest and my body weight behind his tricep because it locks him in position. From here, I can come over and grab the back of the armpit or the tricep area, and now he's stuck. If he doesn't respond from here, I can put my left foot on the floor and use my right elbow to pull my right leg out, and I progress to attacking the back. Very often, what will happen here is once I drag across, he'll turn his body weight back towards me like this, and I can grab his leg, and now I'm gonna throw both legs high and rock him up here. This is a classic pendulum sweep, and I off balance him up towards mount like this. So another common situation is he'll grab my hip really tight here, and now he's still away, but I can't chase the back because he's hanging on. So here I like to reach around with my left hand and just go for the collar choke straight away from closed guard. I can fall back and get a nice choke from here. So in this situation, now he has both hands high. From here, again, I can't break him down, and trying to go across to break the grip is difficult because both hands are blocking. So here, usually what I do is I'm gonna push on the biceps to create a little space, and really fast, I wanna pummel my arm under and in. Often when I push, he'll try to drop his elbows down, so I have to be very fast on this switch. Once I switch, I'm now gonna dig through and start going for a collar grip. Once I get the collar grip, what I wanna do is pin my right elbow to his chest really tight. If I stay like this, he's just gonna re-pummel his arm underneath, and now he can push, and as I pull, it's very difficult to attack. So once I pummel underneath, I go here, I pin the elbow, as I pull the chest really tight. Once I get the collar, once I switch, I'm now gonna dig through and start going for a collar grip. Once I get the collar grip, what I wanna do.
Sup? What up, man? Just watching some close guard shit right now. If you have any questions about fucking anything, I'll answer. Any position, sweep, submission, escape, or, personal questions, I'll answer those too. And whenever you guys start asking questions, I'll answer them and I'll show you videos as proof of whatever I'm talking about, or I'll just keep on studying. Let's get after it.
Is pin my right elbow to his chest really tight. If I stay like this, he's just gonna re-pummel his arm underneath, and now he can push, and as I pull, it's very difficult to attack. So once I pummel underneath, I go here, I pin the elbow, now re-pummel. He cannot re-pummel, right? I'm gonna use my left hand to cinch this grip up higher behind the neck. What I wanna do is I loosen my legs a little and I curl my wrist so that I get the sharp part of this bone to lock around his neck like this. This makes it really tight for the choke. From here, if I get this tight grip, there's gonna be a buildup of material on the side, and sometimes if I see it open, almost like a jab, I can swipe. I don't even need to go inside the gi. I catch here, I bring my chest up, and I have a really tight choke. Now, often when you're threatening this, your opponent will just have his forearm kind of sitting on your chest like this. So I'm gonna use my hand behind the elbow, bridge, and try to bring his elbow to about my belly button. Once I get the elbow to the belly button, I'm gonna unlock my legs. I jump my hips up and lock over his shoulder. So it's like I'm reclosing my guard with my one leg over top of the shoulder here. Now I close.
This motherfucker posted this shit 3 years ago. This is a fantastic system. Overhook to triangle choke. I use that almost daily. The pendulum sweep. I don't use the pendulum sweep as often, but overhook to triangle is great. The pendulum to the arm drag position is great, but I don't actually do the pendulum sweep. I almost always chase the back. And then the collar grip to go to the top lock.
Close my feet here, I squeeze my knees together, and I
Fucking
clamp my
legit.
feet down tightly. This controls his posture without even me having to use my arms, so it makes it easier to switch to the arm bar. So I'm here like this, I go high, I close tightly. Now I'm gonna take my left hand and I go push his head away, and as soon as I unlock, I switch my leg over the head, and now I don't want my legs here. I want it aimed over the head because it breaks his posture. From here, I squeeze my knees, control the wrists, and I can finish the armbar. So the next situation is your opponent's going to be leaning back so far in breaking grips, so you can't even initiate your grips to pull him forward. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock and come up on my left elbow, and I'm going to start to threaten the hip bump sweep. If I get the sweep, what's going to happen is as I drive back, he will want to post this hand. So go back. So I'm going to try to catch this beforehand. I knock him over and drive him to mount, right? So come back up. So when I'm here, he's leaning back. I come up here and I drive over. If he posts the hand early sometimes, I can just grab the head, bring this around, and I drop back for a triangle choke as well. But very often what will happen is as soon as you drive up, you start to drive up, he's going to drive back into you. And that puts me back down on the ground. And now again, right here, I could immediately start trying to isolate this overhook and attack from here. So the main idea is like I showed you guys a different attack and finishing sequence from each kind of posture control he can do. But the reality is you can mix them, right? I don't have to just do one. So like I could, if he puts both hands low, I could pull him forward and break him forward.
Side note, let me know if the audio on my mic or the audio from the video is too loud or too quiet. I tried to check it before things got set up, but shit gets lost in translation.
Then he could put his forearm on my chest, and then I could start locking to high guard, right? If he goes too high, one low, I could break here like this, and then now I can pummel around this and start setting up an overhook, right? But the three that I showed, I think are the easiest to implement immediately in those situations, but of course try to mix them up. So the main lesson from this, outside of all the techniques, if you guys are newer to jiu-jitsu, is understand the most important thing. It's not the techniques that you know, it's the systems. It's how they connect together. No matter how good you are at an armbar, if your opponent is defending the armbar and exposing a collar choke, you need to go for a collar choke. So you need to see all of the positions together so that you can know how to
All sounds good? Fuck yeah.
combine them to make them actually work. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video.
So this is a lit video. 3 years ago, he's doing a bunch of great stuff that I've done for a long time. Something that I always take out of videos is he talks about breaking posture in the first part of the video, which is something that everyone should do. He talks about the overhook triangle, which is fantastic. He talks about the pendulum sweep, which I don't really like at the higher levels, but I really like chasing the back like this. And then he talks about getting the collar grip, and especially when people are punching your armpits, going underneath the wrist. This is a detail that I think I do this naturally, but I don't think I say this. But it's always important when you're studying jujitsu and you're going over footage. It's like the video is broken up into like what is this, like fifths, like fifths. Yeah, there's 5 sections. So first section, posture breaking. I do that. Everybody does that. Second section is the overhook triangle. I do that. Everybody does that. It's great. Third section is pendulum sweep. I don't like the pendulum sweep. I like to chase the back aggressively or go belly down on arm bars. But pendulum sweeps are okay. I just don't like them against high level people. And then making the cross collar grip really deep, going underneath your opponent's armpit grip. That's the one detail I took away from the video. So this is a 8 minute and 17-second video. I picked up like 4 or 5 things that I do the exact same. I see the main one thing that I don't do. So I found the one thing that's mainly different, which is the pendulum sweep section here. And then the one thing I actually took away from the video is he reaches underneath his opponent or partner's wrist when they are posting in the armpits. This is zesty, bro. Is that like a gay thing or anyways, thank you. I think. Um anyways, I when he reaches for this cross collar grip to break posture and to help collect the position and go for this cross collar choke and the top lock armbar, he goes underneath the wrist. Most of the time, I go over people's wrists and forearms. This is something I'm going to have to try out and test live against poor, unassuming white belts. And then I'll progressively move up, try it against blue belts, purple belts, all the way until black belt. But, anyways, so whenever you guys are studying jiu jitsu, the video is broken up into fifths already. It's kind of great. I do the first thing, I do the second thing, I don't do the third thing. The fourth thing is new to me. It's something I'm going to have to try. And then the fifth thing is the top lock armbar. So you should always be message retracted. Shit. Um, but anyways, you should always be looking at every video through that lens. What do you do that's the same? What do you do that's different? What's new that you need to go attempt and try for yourself, or maybe ask your coach or your peers about? And every video, you should be thinking of it like that. You shouldn't just blindly watch videos like Instagram Reels and be like, God, gee willikers, I can't wait to try that live. It's not how this fucking works. Okay. So, uh, every time you study, what do you do that's the same? What do you do that's different? What do you do that, or what do you see that's new? Right. And then we got to go test it live or test it with our coach or talk about it with our friends and figure out what will work for you because not everything works for the same body types. I'm 6'4" and I'm fat. I'm like 235 pounds. Everything I do is not going to work for everybody else. So, anyway, let's move on to the next video. Again, if anybody has a request on something that they want to study, if they have a question about any sweep submission, whatever the fuck it is, I'm here to answer it. Let's do some Hodger Gracie closed guard. Hmm.
First,
So this is really interesting. Um, how do I say it? When I was a white belt in Jiu Jitsu, okay, I guess not this video because this video is only 5 years old, but when I was a lower belt, I would watch videos and I would study and and then I'd go to class, shit would happen or it wouldn't, and then I'd come back. Years later, I would see the exact same video I watched as a white belt, and I would rewatch the exact same video. I have seen this video 4 times now, and I'm gonna watch it again. And not just because it's on stream. If I wasn't live streaming, if I wasn't live, I would watch it again by myself. And the reason is every time I pick up different details. Sometimes coaches don't say what they're doing. They try to explain it the best they can, but they'll do little minor details that change the that change how things work or how things are, and I'll pick up on those as a higher belt now. So sometimes rewatching the same video can either reinstill the same things into your brain, which is super good, or um, you can find things that you missed the first couple times. I think the last time I watched this video, I was a brown belt. I'm gonna watch it again because we're focusing on close guard, and hopefully I can take something away from it that I don't realize. I was gonna make a prediction on what I thought I was going to see in the video compared to what I'm going to, but I'm just going to play it and we'll see what happens.
Just before we go through any specific technique, let's concentrate just some basic ideas in the close guard, because I consider myself to have a very strong close guard. There's not many people who actually favor the close guard. You see a lot of the times you train, they suddenly open the
close guard.
and they go for open guard. So there's nothing wrong with that, but the one thing you have to realize, close guard is very one-sided. There's nothing really that he can do against me. Maybe in the lower belts, the guy leans forward, puts pressure on you, you're not really sure what to do. You might feel you're under pressure. But once you start training, after you've been training for a few years, you realize there's not really any efficient attack that the guy on top can apply on the guy on the bottom. It's in a higher level jiu-jitsu, it's almost impossible for the person on top to submit the person underneath from the guard. So it's very one-sided. The person on top, his main job, he has to open my guard for then try to pass. He cannot try anything as long as my guard is closed. So the main thing of his focus is opening my guard. That's why I think, why should I open the guard for him? It has to be hard for the person to open my guard because he has to spend a lot of energy. And in the closed guard, that's when I have the biggest chance of submitting him than in the open guard. The open guard, there's a much bigger distance between us. And his body is a lot looser. He has a lot more mobility in the closed guard. Of course, I can still attack, but it's two-sided. It's even. In the closed guard, it's not even. I'm trying to submit him and to sweep, and he's only defending himself and try to open the guard. That's why, my whole life, ever since I was a blue belt, I always concentrate on keeping the person in my close guard and always attacking. So, over the years, I think I developed a very strong game in the close guard. I've been competing pretty much my whole life, and
Side note, I will admit that I am watching this a little bit differently than I would if I was by myself because I'm, I guess, used to studying and being very ADHD and having a very bouncy mind, and like my main focus in all of life is jujitsu. I think I retain information really quickly, and it's easy for me to pick up on things that I didn't see before. I would skim through this video spamming the arrow keys until I see stuff that he does, and then I'd play the part that he does and not just listen to him talking. But I do think it's Hodger, and he's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. So this is one of the videos that you should definitely listen to.
A lot of my fights, you can see it. I always, most of the times, I pull close guard because I know it's much easier for me to control the fight. So let's talk about now. They actually fight in the open guard. The person on top, he needs to defend himself. The only way he can do that is to keep a posture up. So he needs to keep a distance between us. If I wanted to attack him, I cannot do it as long as he's far away from me. If I want to go for the neck, everything is too far. If I want to attack the arm, for me to attack his arm lock, I have to bring my whole body very high up his shoulder for then step the leg in and attack. So the bigger the space between us, the more he'll be able to defend himself. So before I attack, I want the person closer to me. When he's closer, now I can attack everything. I can go straight for the neck. I can climb for the arm lock. And triangles, and most of my attacks, they'll come when the person is close. So he'll be trying his best to stay away from me. That's his portion. Now, about opening the guard. If two person has the same body, so let's say equal strength, the leg, you'll always be way stronger than the arms, regardless. Even if he's slightly bigger than me, my legs is still going to be much stronger than his arms. So for him to open my guard, first with both knees on the floor, I would say is very difficult. I consider myself to have a very strong close guard. I do not think there's a person alive who can open my guard with both knees on the floor. It's not being cocky, it's just because.
I've quoted that so many times. No, not me. Wait, let me rephrase. I haven't told people that nobody on earth could open my closed guard on the knees. I've quoted Hodger saying that he said it, that nobody alive can open his closed guard while they stay on the knees because he's going to hand fight so well that you won't be able to open it on the knees. He's going to hand fight, he's going to grip fight, he's going to force attempted back takes, he's going to do all this stuff. So this is one of the reasons that I tell people to always stand up when you're passing closed guard. Always. Gordon Ryan says it. Um, Hodger is talking about it right now, where if this guy does not stand up, he will not pass his guard because he's that confident in his guard play and his guard game. So stand to pass close guard, pretty please.
Because it's very hard, because my leg will be much stronger than the person. So it's not difficult for me to block. It's not because I'm exceptional. I cannot open Eagle's guard if my both knees on the floor. So it's not because I'm really good that they will not open. Because he will have to fight against the power of my thigh. It's much bigger than his arm. You'll see that somebody doing that only if he's way bigger than the person underneath. That way, sometimes you see people manage to open the guard with the knees down or always just one leg. But with both knees on the floor, he can stay here forever. Now, the moment that he starts getting up, he starts getting that advantage.
Make this full screen.
One leg, wait. No.
Quick question. I've always tried to stay on my toes as the top player. Do you pay attention to that as the bottom player? And or if they go through their shoelaces, is it a trigger for you to attack something? This is a good question. It depends on the position. I'll talk about closed guard, but it always depends on the position. I don't think it's, how should I say it? If you're in turtle and you're on your toes, I think that's a bad thing. I think if you're in closed guard and you're on your toes, that's a good thing. Because if you go flat on your feet when you're in turtle, or I'm sorry, if you go flat on your feet when you're in closed guard, I think trying to open and widen your base when I try to sweep you is more difficult when you're flat on your feet. I think if I do a hip bump sweep or a sit up sweep or whatever, Kimura sweep, it's very easy to take you over when you're flat on your feet. And when you're on your toes, like this guy is in the video here, it's easier to open and flare your foot and your knee to help you. Also, like I just said, standing up is the best way to pass close guard. It's difficult to stand up with your feet flat, so you want to be on your toes. I've heard some people argue that you want to be flat on your feet here so that you can sit back even further. I disagree with them. I think if you posture backwards too far, that's when people run on top of you and they run through you like a train and they do that Kimura or the hip bump sweep. So, personally, in close guard, I stay on the toes. In turtle, when I'm defending turtle, I get off my toes because if you can see this here, even like in the video, there's an arch in this guy's ankle and their shin, their knee, this whole thing right here. There's a big arch right here. When I'm in turtle, I will hook my foot under people's feet or I'll grab the foot and I'll lift it. So if we pretended I was on the outside on this side of the body, attacking this guy, I could put in a like a butterfly hook under this guy's ankle, either from the outside going to the inside or from the inside pushing his leg out, flaring it. But that would be more difficult for me if he was flat footed. So, with the laces of the shoe down. So, personally, in close guard, I like to be on my toes, like this gentleman is here in the video. And when I'm in a position like, say, turtle, I like to be flat footed completely. So, I prefer being on the toes here, flat footed there. If I'm in mount, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm trying to keep mount and I know my partner's elbow escaping, I like to be flat footed where the laces of my shoe are down. If I know they're about to do a big bridge and they're going to like bench press me off of them, I want to be on my toes because I want to be able to jump and spin into the armbar. It's a more explosive and athletic position. So if I didn't answer your question, let me know. I'll expand on it. But for the most part, close guard, I'm on my toes like this. Turtle, I'm flat footed. Mount, I'm flat footed when they're elbow escaping, but I'm on my toes if I think they're going to do a big bridge or a big oompa or a big bench press or whatever the fuck it may be.
Só levantou a perna. The moment that he gets one leg up, now he's creating a space between us. So he's diverting the
Also, side note, there's a little bit of a delay in the stream and when I can read the chat. So if I don't read your message for 10 whatever seconds, it's because there's a little bit of a delay in the stream.
the resistance from my leg down to my leg, down to my foot. But it's still very hard. It's very hard for him because he's still going to fight against my leg. The one way that is the easiest for the person to open the leg is when they stand up. Now, it's not about my thigh, it's about my feet. Anyone, the one that start pushing the knee down, the guy will open. I cannot resist because first, my body weight is pushing myself down, and I can only resist with my feet crossed. I stop using my thigh. That's when he has the bigger advantage. So you see, the moment that you start fighting with someone very good, the moment that you stand up, you know you can open the guard. As long as you're on the knees with one leg up, it's very hard. So I know that. So my job is to don't let him stand up. For him to stand up, he needs the strongest arm on my chest. Because that's what's bringing his body closer. This will keep him there. The other arm, he varies. He can grab my pants, some people like to grab the arm, he grabs the belt. It varies. There's different places to place the arm. Not this one. One arm has to be right on my chest. Because this is the only thing stopping him coming forward. The moment that he comes forward, I attack. So this is my concern, not that one. If I want to stop him standing up, I have to fight against his arm. So even before I try any attack, my main concern is this. If his arm is bent, he cannot try to stand up.
Okay. This is something interesting. Yeah. Yep. Love you. So this is interesting. Um, the last video I just watched, well, I guess technically the person on top's doing a different grip. But if you were watching when I watched the last video, the thing that I took away from the video that I hadn't seen before or that I don't do is when people are posting in my armpit to go under the wrist to grab a cross collar grip. Now Hodger, one of the greatest, if not the greatest grappler of all time, grabs over the wrist. He goes on top. This is something that you should always pay attention to when you're studying. What are the differences and what are the similarities between what all the coaches are showing? Not saying that either one is right or wrong, And technically they're different. Like this guy's posting on the chest in the last video with John Thomas, the guy was posting in the armpits. So it was different. Um, but it's something to think about. If you watch 100 mount escape videos and in all 100 of them every single coach repeats the same, step number 3 for all of them is the exact same, that's probably a fucking detail that you should always do, because if everyone's doing it every single time and there's no delineation between that and anything else, that's probably something that's going to have to be done every time. This is very common when I watch a lot of high level people, and like 6 or 7 of them will have the exact same detail, and I'm like, oh fuck, I just noticed that all of them talked about that. This is a detail that's like a takeaway detail that I should use. But anyways, something to notice, because in the last video and this one, they technically differed, but the grips were different. But just so you're aware, the last video, the guy talked about going underneath the wrist when he's posting in the armpit. Here, this guy's posting on the chest, and Hodger's talking about going over the wrist to break the guard down. It's the small things that make some of the difference for this. I think if they were posting in the armpit and you tried to go over the wrist, it'd be a little difficult. But because he's posting on the center of the chest here to try to stand up, he can go over the wrist. So just something food for thought to think about the differences and similarities between different videos. They both just talked about posture. Every video in the fucking world is going to talk somewhat about posture if you're talking about being on bottom and close guard. So that's one of those details that's like a takeaway detail. You should always be focusing on attacking and breaking your partner's posture. How it gets done is going to be different in every video. Like last video, he went under the wrist. This video, he's going over. Yada, yada, yada. Stuff to think about.
Because he'll fail. The moment that he goes up, that I pull, he'll fall. There's one moment that when the person is vulnerable the most, when he stand up. And that's the only time I try to pull them down. Not before and not after, because it's just a waste of energy. So if you want to stand up, he'll bring one leg up first. The moment that the second leg goes up, he's vulnerable. Before he steps the second foot on the floor. I know that. So I'm only going to pull him forward to me only when the second leg starts getting off the floor. So there's one thing that I always do that is never fail. Whatever arm is strongest on my chest, I go over and I grab the opposite collar. My arm being over his, I have the advantage because I can try to fight against his arm. My arm being under, there's no way I can fight against his arm and he's neutralizing mine. So the moment that the person holds my chest, I open up, I go wide, because it's very hard for him to avoid it. I grab anywhere. I'm not trying to choke, I'm just trying to grab the collar. Because when I pull, I'll be able to bend his arm. But I will only do that when the second leg come up. If you try to stand up with my arm over, it's a fail. It's very hard. If I were him, I will let it go over, and then I'll stand up. If he goes with my arm over his, it's very difficult for him to succeed. Fica em pé lá. And he'll fail, because every time I pull him with my legs, my arm's gonna bend his arm. Then he falls. And then there's a whole fight for him. The moment that he has it, if he can beat me to it, he'll come up. So this, and now he tried to go over. My hand is right there. Now my goal is to stop him making that grip. Yeah, I can even bring the other hand, because there's one place that I don't want the arm to be. Right in my plexus, right between my chest. He is where he's strongest.
Did that answer your question, by the way, about being flat on the feet and being up on the toes? Just curious.
If he goes higher, that means his body comes closer. He's in danger. Because for him to grab higher on my collar, now he's in the range for me to attack. He can still defend himself, but he's in danger.
Would Hodger be lifting his hips actively if they were going live here instead of laying on his back? So this is something that I've noticed. When I'm trying to be active in close guard, I always have my hips off the mat when I'm being like active and like for real. Um, Hodger always keeps his head off the mat. If you can kind of see me slowly scrolling to the bottom of this video, his head will never touch the mat. And this is something that he focuses on. Even when he wants to rest, I'm at 8:37. I'm going to jump back to this. Even when he wants to rest, he's putting his fucking hand behind his head because he's trying to like instill that in himself. This whole like never letting his head touch the mat because I think when his head is resting, his core is not active. So Hodger actually leaves his hips on the mat from what I'm seeing. Maybe we can go look at some rolling footage of Hodger afterwards and see when he get if or when he gets to close guard and see if he does that. But yeah, I agree. He does not use his hips in the same way that I do. He is very grip fighting dominant. So if I go back to 8:37 like we were at, as you can tell, he's only knee pulling when the other person stands up. He's only knee pulling when his arm is reaching over and grabbing that cross collar grip over the top. So it's kind of fascinating that he's doing a very specific timing thing. My curiosity then would be if he's never knee pulling and breaking people down, what does he do when, um, like, what does he do in the neutral guard position? Like, if the guy just sits on his heels and doesn't try to stand up, what's his neutral stuff? Is he still is then he going to lift his hips off the mat and then try to break him down, or is he just going to start trying to arm drag people or like grip break using his hips or whatever? But yeah, it's just something to think about. But yeah, in this video, he's never using his hips, and he didn't talk about lifting and dropping his hips to build momentum, which is one of my most important details when I'm thinking about guard breaking posture and whatnot. So maybe he's just being more specific in this, where he's like specializing in the if they put their hand on your chest or stomach, you go over their hand and make a cross collar grip. Now, when they try to stand up, you can really crush that grip that's on your stomach or chest or whatever. So, yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him lift his hips up in a sparring video. I'd have to watch an actual clip of him fighting and from close guard. So, very interesting.
Himself, but he's in danger. And if he goes lower, he cannot support his body when I pull. He falls. So the one place that I try my best to avoid is right in my plexus. So the moment that he makes that, I go right over. Now, even if without him doing anything, if he tries to stand up, he'll fail. Because this, look, I bend. And the next step is to put my knees up to my chest. But only with the second leg up. Not before and not after. That's when they vulnerable the most. It's very difficult to do that. I will never try to stand up if someone has the arm right over mine, because I know if I try, he'll fail. Even, he almost fell, he's still on his feet, but that means his posture is very low. And if he carry on trying to stand up, he's vulnerable. Because he's going to stand up with his posture very low, and he puts his arm in a very dangerous way. If you stand up straight, it's very difficult for me to attack. So this, he helps a lot. And the moment that he tried to go over again, my hand is right here to fight against his hand. Now I can't let it go. I always keep both of my hands exactly what he.
Yeah, see, exactly. So he's saying he literally is only knee pulling when the guy stands. So I'm curious. I think there's a couple things I do from close guard where I just like open my guard and I like whip off to the side. Like sometimes I'll grab like a cross sleeve and then I'll just not break posture. And then I'll just whip myself up into the air and go for omoplatas and like backwards rolls to sweep people and shit. But most of the time, I break posture to do anything from close guard. Um, so yeah, I'm curious what his quote unquote neutral game is. Like the guy on top just has their hands down. Like, what is he doing naturally? Or I guess maybe this is only when he's talking about like the center of the chest grip. Um, yeah, I don't know. Very strange though. I don't ever do that either. Like when I'm the person trying to pass guard, I never put my hand in the center of people's chest on their solar plex. I just put my hands in the armpits and stand up, or my hands on the mat overhead, and I just jump to my feet real quickly. So I don't know. Maybe I've just never had a high level person do that, like arm in the center of the chest thing to fuck with my close guard. But yeah, it's interesting that he says he'll never do it other than that.
He
Pretty
wants
weird.
to grab, so he has to pass through my hands, which is not easy. And if you try, I'll say 90% of people, they'll make the wrong grip. And here, look, I already know that if you try to stand up, he falls because it's too low on my chest. Any grip I make, even if I grab there, when the second leg come up.
It's kind of funny. He treats the center of his chest, where his sternum is, like he's in bottom mount, and he doesn't want them to get a cross collar grip to choke them. Like, or when someone's on your back and they're trying to make choking grips, and then you do the little like prayer hands where your hands come up by your neck like this. Um, he's kind of treating his closed guard like that. Like if I tilt this camera down a little bit, um, and I expand this, he's like breaking grips, and then he's like keeping his wrists and his hands like in the center of the chest where like the sweet spot is. Because like anything above that, he would trap it and do an arm bar, and anything below that, he says is too low to be effective. So he's kind of trapping his own wrists against his like sternum, so that if they grab any lower near the stomach, it's an ineffective grip. So that's actually kind of a it's genius if that's what everyone's going for is that sternum grip. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting food for thought though. That he'll grip fight there, and if they try to regrip, he'll leave his wrists. Like, see this? He's using his forearm across the center
I
of the
already
body.
know that if he tries to stand up, he falls because
Fascinating shit.
it's too low on my chest. Any grip I make, even if I grab there, when the second leg come up, he drops. So, yeah, this was more or less just to give you guys an idea, the importance to have a strong close guard. And here we start attacking. So now, I'm gonna show you guys an arm lock that I've been doing, I would say not longer than 2 years. And I was able to get a lot more, to succeed a lot more in attacking the arm lock than any time before in my life. Because to attack the arm, I can only attack if he make a mistake with his posture. If he bring his posture low as he try to stand up, you see people attacking the arm. But against a person with a good posture, it's very difficult. Because the moment that I grip his arm, it doesn't mean that I'm attacking, but by experience that I'm focusing on his arm. The moment that I put my foot in his hips, there's no hiding. He knows that I'm going for the arm lock because I'm holding the arm, and the only reason for me to place the foot on his hip is to make my hips go on the side. So I cannot hide anymore. Usually, what's the first thing the person do to defend? Push their body back. If Igor sits back, it's impossible for me to attack his arm. It's a waste of time. So just by leaning back is the first thing that you should do to defend. Let's say for some reason his posture was low, I was able to get him here.
Bro, now that I'm fucking thinking about it, nobody ever puts their fucking fist in the center of my chest. I feel like this was taught to me when I was like a white belt, and then ever since then, everybody doubles up on the belt, they double up on your hip, they double up in the armpits. Nobody does this. I feel like I need to start experimenting with this as the top person, because he's running off the premise that this is where the grip is. So, I don't know. I guess it's just something I'll have to play with because I never fucking do this.
Now it's too late for him to lean back because if he lift his head up, look, he's going to be helping me step the leg over in the head. So what he does, forward. Now he wants to close that gap. So I need to push him to be able to step the leg over. But the moment that I push, he brings the arm out and he's out. So those two is pretty much the main way that people defend. I'm not going to say the most correct, but I'll say the most common. If someone's attacking me, that's how I would react. So based on that, how can I attack his arm? Trying to block him his escape. So one, I go with the arm over, right in the back of his neck. Remember what I said about the details? This is one. If I grab right in the back, I know I'll succeed. If I grab slightly lower, I will fail. Because this will say how far back he can go. This grip is only to stop in portion. If I make a grip right in the back of his head, it's very hard for him to break that grip, for him just to release my grip. If Igor makes that grip on me, I don't think I can break it. The worst thing he can do, I mean, He's leaning the back, no. That's a dead grip, I have to let it go. So this, if you go try to go back, sit back, you go. He'll only go as far as my arm goes. If you really insist, he'll bring me with him, because this will dictate the space between us now. So I know if he try to go back, he won't be able to. So that's the grip I want. Now, to stop him going with the arm over mine, because I need my arm over his, I'll make a grip on his arm, and I create a tension. I do not care about breaking his grip. Actually, it's hard for me to do it. So I'll just pull his arm back, so if he try to bring his arm over mine, look, it's hard. Now, I can easily get to here. Because if you try to push it up, it's very difficult, because that grip won't.
At the beginning, I talked about noticing things that you do that are the same, noticing things that you've never seen before, and noticing things that you do that are different. Well, one, nobody ever puts their fucking hand in the middle of my chest, so that's different. Every time I do the top lock, I do this exact same thing. I cross grip on the wrist and I do a cross collar grip. I've never done it with my hand almost like I'm doing an actual cross collar choke. As in, like, I always do it to the point where my index finger touches people's collarbone. This is how I do loop chokes also. But that's the height that I need to do the top lock, and I have a really good success with it like this. So I'm curious. I don't even know if I could, from the way that at least that I've been doing it. I don't even know if I could like reach and get the like cross collar grip as if I was doing a cross collar choke, which means my wrist needs to like turn around the neck, and my palm needs to end up like in the back tag of their collar. So, you know, I don't know. That's interesting. Again, I've seen this video. I don't know how many times. Don't remember that. I do not remember that. I do remember him talking about he only knee pulls as they go to step up with their second foot. Um, but yeah, I don't really remember the your cross collar grip over the arm needs to be that specifically like behind the neck like this, like you're about to do a choke.
Don't allow him. Push it up, Igor. Push it up. Push it up. Now I know I can get to here. Now he leans forward. Now it's another problem, because just by pushing, that's another fight. But the one thing I do, I gain people's shoulder, climb my leg. Now control him here. Now if you push it up, easy for me to attack. They will lean forward, of course. So here, if I feel the elbow out of place, I will adjust, I'll pull, I'll climb my legs. So now he has to lean forward. That's his only difference. Doesn't matter how big the person is, lean forward. It's very easy for me just to stretch my body and push him away. Because I'm not using my hands, I'm using my whole body, look, my core. It's very difficult for him to avoid that. And the moment that I push, his arm is straight into the arm. So those grip, I'll grab the arm. Even if he sits back, I go with him, look. Even without opening my guard, I can just place my foot on the floor, I grab, I go back.
So that's how he gets to it. He'll even do this like a hip bump sweep almost, where he's like sitting up and opening the guard.
Even if he sits back, I go with him, look. Even without opening my guard, I can just. Even if he sits.
He's also making the cross grip first. I'm trying to visualize and think about if that's what I do. Yeah, I think I make the cross grip first most of the time. That's interesting that he just sits up to his elbow though. Um, yeah, interesting. So cross grip on the sleeve, and then reach for the cross collar, like four fingers in behind the tag. And even if they sit up, you build up to your elbow and open your guard, which is semi-safe because you still have the cross grip on the wrist. Okay, I'll have to try it next time for the top lock.
Sits back, I go with him, look. Even without opening my guard, I can just place my foot on the floor, I grab, I go back. Now he cannot posture. I tense his arm. If you try to go back, look, There's nothing he can do to stop again in his shoulder. Usually, I could go straight to the arm lock here, but experienced person, he's gonna lean straight away. Now adjust the arm, take your time, lift it up, bend my body, go, lean forward. He can't. Go. Straight to the arm lock. So
Fascinating. Before I move on, is there anything, any specific topic or any questions that anyone has about anything, any topic they want me to research, or any questions about anything they want me to answer? Last time I even did a video breakdown for somebody, and I got my fucking video a copyright strike because I guess one championship has rules against doing their stuff. Let's go. Let's do rubber. I was playing rubber guard today. But I'll pause this if anyone else has a recommendation or a request on any other type type of video or topic or whatever.
I think everybody knows who he is. He's the one who invented the rubber guard in Jiu Jitsu, and they also made history in the Jiu Jitsu, especially for no hit, right, Eddie? And today he's going to show us here how to master the rubber guard and how to do
like
his
that.
favorite entry. That's from the Heffler, so it's very different. He gives away the Heffler in order to go to the rubber guard. So let's do it.
I have also seen this video more than twice. I used this twice today at open mat in Nogi. I let people go to half guard on me. I do this different than Eddie, but I let people go to half guard. I put up a knee shield, and then I sat up and I took an overhook, and I played the lockdown.
Okay.
Or sorry, and then I extended my knee shield and then pulled myself into rubber guard. I was thinking 10th planet, so I thought about the lockdown. Not the lockdown. Rubber guard from half guard.
So before we get into the entry, we have to understand what the goal is of an entry. Like when you're going for honey hole or the saddle, the entry is the most important thing. Because if you don't have entries into the saddle, how are you going to leg lock someone? So you have to have an entry. Same thing with rear naked chokes. You're not thinking about the rear naked choke at first. You're thinking about the entry, and the entry involves, when the entry is complete, that means the seatbelt is complete. So we're looking for seatbelts when we're attacking the back. We're looking for the saddle when we're looking for leg locks, in particular, like the saddle, 411, all the different names, honey hole, inside Sengaku, whatever you want to call it. So the seatbelt for rubber guard, one of the seatbelts has a couple different ones. Is this position called the cocoon, which is sit-up guard, butterfly guard, and I have a deep overhook and a deep underhook. Because if I can get here, hard position to get. Because if I can get here, he's going to be in rubber guard really quick. So from here, the first step would be fire, boom, and then flip, boom. Now he's in trouble. He's in rubber guard here, he's in trouble. But how do we get to this position? Sit-up guard, triangle. It's very hard. If we were just grappling here, it would be very hard for me just to go here. That's never going to happen. All right. So we have to set it up. We have to give up position. In this particular case, I'm giving up position I'm giving up 5 yards to gain 10 yards. All right. And this is the whole concept here. So in order for me to end up here, look at the ingredients. I need an overhook. I need an underhook. And then I need both my knees out and with butterflies in. So how am I going to get that? He's not going to give it to me. I have to trick him. So in the most popular position in Jiu Jitsu, here is a Z guard here. And this is my shield in Z guard. Some people play with their foot in. Some people play across here. Some people like to stomp on the...
I'm not gonna lie. I only call Z guard when the ankles are crossed. I don't call Z guard just being in half guard with your knee shield. Call that a knee shield. I saw Craig talking about Z guard stuff, and the way that he was playing half guard was he was always having his ankles crossed. So I guess my brain triggered that as Z guard means the ankles are crossed because there's a connection. The Z is actually connected, like it's touching. So it made sense in my head. But he's saying you can play Z guard with your foot in all these fucking places. So I think Eddie's wrong.
Whatever you do, the shield is protecting my neck. He's not able to grab my neck here. Very hard to pass the guard. You start adding inversions to this, it becomes very hard. You try passing one of the Meow Twins guard. Good luck. They got insane inversions, and they're constantly attacking too. So for Bernardo, he's got to deal with a lot. He might have to pack a lunch to get past the shield. But what if I just made him a deal? What if I said, hey, I'll take away the shield, give you the underhook if you just give me a lockdown? He's going to take it 99% of the time, unless he knows it's a trick. All right, so technically in the world of jiu-jitsu, this is a great advantageous position here. But for me, I gave it to him so that I could get to the cocoon. All right, so I already have the overhook for the cocoon, but I'm not sitting up yet, and I don't have my right knee out. All right, so if I got to get my right knee here, that's the goal. But he wants to get his right knee out too and slice through, do a knee slice. He wants to get his knee out. He wants to get right here. I'm in bad shape right here, so I can't let him get his knee out. I got to get my knee out. It's the battle of the knee. Who's going to win the battle of the knee? So as soon as he takes the bait and he accepts the deal, no shield and an underhook, as long as I get a lockdown, they accept it all the time. I'm going to put this overhook in advance because I'm going to need it. I don't want him to turn on me or anything. I want it. And this hand, because this is the pimp arm. This becomes very, very, very important here. All right, because he can't pass my guard if I got something on his leg. It's going to be very hard. I can even underhook it here. He still can't pass. We're in a static position. We're both stuck here. I like to go palm up, right above the knee here, and now it's all about getting my right knee out. He wants his right knee out, but he's not going to be able to do it as long as my pimp arm is strong. So I go from a lockdown to a super stomp, quick, boom, right here. Now he's going to squeeze his knee together, because he doesn't want me to pull my knee out. So this.
I'm such a fucking retard. I've even showed people that pimp arm thing before, and people ask me, why is it called the pimp arm? And I just said, because Eddie Bravo's a retard. And he just said it right there. He said, because you got to keep your pimp hand strong, because you got to keep your pimp arm strong. How the fuck did I never pick up on that? Got to keep the bitches in line.
Becomes the battle of the knee. And so my right leg, which is a leg curl right now, preventing him from passing, I got to shake it, but in between the shakes, it's a leg curl. So it's doing two jobs. Battle of the knees is down, right knee out, but he's not super stomp. Do it as long as my pimp arm is strong. So I go from a lockdown to a super stomp, quick, boom, right. I'm getting my right palm up, right above the knee here. Do it as long as my pimp.
Okay, sorry. I was jumping because I was trying to figure out how the fuck he got out of the lockdown. He calls this a super stomp. I don't think I've ever had a name for this before, but it makes sense. This is not how I do mine. I will have a knee shield and half guard and sit up with an and like lay my arm over their back so that they take the underhook while I still have the knee shield. He's letting them past his knee shield chest to chest, which is fucking risky, especially against heavyweight grapplers, to lock them down and pimp arm. Now, his lockdown and pimp arm at the same time both stretch Bernardo's knees away from him. And he transitions from the lockdown to the super stomp. And then he transitioned. It's like you're stretching their shin, and then your far side foot becomes a butterfly hook.
Hip arm is strong. So I go from a lockdown to a super stomp, quick, boom, right here. Now he's gonna.
Yeah, he did it so quickly because the video is not a super stomp video, but he's stretching. He goes out of the lockdown. He takes his regular half guard foot and he tries to hook his ankle on almost the Bernardo's ankle and like stretches his own leg out, almost stomping the ground to get this butterfly hook in.
Lockdown to a super stomp, quick.
Yeah, see how he did it briefly?
Boom, right here. Now he's gonna squeeze his
And now he's got the butterfly hook and the regular calf behind the leg and the pimp arm. So now he still has both things keeping Bernardo's knees away.
His knees together, because he doesn't want me to pull my knee out. So this becomes the battle of the knee. And so my right leg, which is a leg curl right now, preventing him from passing, I got to shake it, but in between the shakes, it's a leg curl. So it's doing two jobs at once. So as soon as I pull out the knee, he realizes he lost the battle of the knee. So what he wants to do is back out and limp arm. Immediately, he's going to back out, retreat, and then limp arm. Limp arm out of this, back out, boom. And limp arm, wow. Like that. He wants this, right? I have no control. He went backwards, and technically I won, but I want that upper body clinch. So once I go here and he squeezes his knees together, I'm going to win the battle of the knee here. He's going to back up, but the pimp arm turns into an underhook. And I caught him. This is called the catch. I catch him here, and then from here, this is basically, this is the seatbelt of the rubber guard. Then I fire, boom, and then I flip, bam, now he's in trouble.
No, that was awesome. So, altogether,
I guess I'll have to let people underhook me and just lock down and stretch the near side knee away. And then pimp arm, got to keep your pimp hand strong, keep the bitches in place, and stretch the other knee away. So now I'm stretching both knees away. And then you go to the super stomp, which is a butterfly. It's half butterfly, basically, but you've got to like straighten your leg to get to half butterfly. And then you're sitting up and you're playing rubber guard. Secondarily, I also don't play rubber guard.
Of the rubber guard. Then I fire.
When I bring my leg over the top, I do this. Right here, I take my left palm and I basically palm strike people in the temple gently with love. And then I release my right hand from the right side where it's at right now, like how Eddie has it, and I bring it over to the left side. So it's like I'm trying to pull my foot in front of the face. And to do that, I get my elbow on this side of his face to help me keep separation. He keeps his arm on this far side
And then I flip.
and just pulls the leg in front of the face. I think he's doing this because he wants a go-go clinch. If his hand is still on this side, yeah, see his hands connect right here. He could lock a gable grip, and then he could lock a triangle choke with his legs. And even if this foot's not under the neck, he can stretch his legs out with the triangle choke, and he'll have a go-go clinch submission. So I get why he's doing this. I don't do this. I think I should start doing this because I've only hit a couple go-go clinches my whole time doing jiu-jitsu. So
Seatbelt of the rubber guard. Then I fire. Boom.
So mission control, I post the head, put my elbow on the far side. He just uses his hand that's on the overhook, which I usually use to support my knee. He just takes that hand and pulls his leg over.
And then I flip, bam.
And then when he flips, he goes right to the go-go clinch. Fascinating. Again, when I study, I try to have takeaways that are the same. As in, I set up my lockdown from half guard because of this exact Eddie Bravo video, and I took totally different details away from the first time. Like I don't let people flatten me out. I don't do the super stomp thing or any of that shit. I just keep a half guard knee shield, and then I sit up and I take an overhook, and then I just stretch my partner out, and then immediately fire up into rubber guard. And then the second part, when I actually get to rubber guard, I take this hand. Well, I take my left hand and I post him in the face, and then I bring this hand over and I pull into the position. So, yeah, very interesting. Again, I've already seen this video. I don't remember if I was a black belt when I watched this video last time, but regardless, I learned new details.
no, that was awesome. So, altogether, so you pretty much created a trap, right?
I mean,
I'm gonna skip the talking.
you're gonna back up and limp arm. Back out of there and limp arm, like turn that out, boom, and then we're right here. I didn't win. I didn't catch you. I gotta catch you here. So overhook in advance, pimp arm strong, lockdown, super stomp. If you don't squeeze your knees together, I just pull it out. Now you're done. I got you here.
Got it.
Now, this is the seatbelt, fire and flip, right? So right here, it's all about this. If you pull your knee out, I'm in trouble. But if I'm boom and I'm right here, you squeeze your knees together, boom, and I pull out, you're gonna be gone. You're gonna take off now. And then boom, and I catch you. Because if you don't take off, and you stay here, it's gonna be an easy sweep.
I got it.
You have to back out.
I got it. Man, that's amazing. Yeah, so guys, we just shot an entire structure.
This guy's got a good ass channel. I mean, just on the highlight reel, that's not what I do. I disagree with it.
You know, for rubber guard, I would follow whoever's doing that rubber guard assassins Instagram. That's a great.
Oh, this is a breakdown video. I don't want a breakdown video. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I want to watch videos at my speed. So most of the time when I watch breakdown videos, it actually kind of fucks me up. So counterintuitive because I'm over here like doing breakdown videos and shit. But like, I want to be able to pause it and back up and like not have the screen all blurred out or highlighted or whatever because I know exactly what I'm looking for. It feels like the breakdown videos are beneficial for people that don't understand what they're looking for or they don't know what they're supposed to be looking for. So anyway,
My foot stuck. He's gonna squeeze his knees. He's got a whole different kind of rubber guard. We gotta play a different style here. You understand? There's 3/4 rubber guard because my foot's stuck, and then in full rubber guard, the goal is always to get to this position right here. Now, he can't do anything. I'll stay here all day. There's nothing he can do. I'm a controller.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get another drink. Uno momento. Oh. Close it most of the way and let them still get out. We back, we back.
Sometimes that's a submission. That's invisible collar. That's not that hard to get into. Just takes practice. Just wrap them up. Mission control, that very first one, the guy on top can stack and eventually work his way out. It's not, he's got to get out, and when he has to get out, he can't punch. But once you get deeper and deeper, depending on how strong your legs are, right here, it's gonna be, I mean, he could stack, he could try to stack me, and meanwhile, I'm surviving here, I ain't doing anything. It's not the best position. The best position is here. Right here, now, he can't do anything. I can hold him here for a week, and there's nothing he can do. I'll just keep squeezing right here. Then when I'm ready to finish, then we go into other positions, like here. Now he's deeper. His right arm is out of the mix here, And there's nothing he can do to stop these elbows right here. This is called muddy waters, this position. And there's no way he can stop any elbows. I could just sit here all day. And his arm is all alone here. I can triangle my legs here and go back. Or I could just grab his wrist here and swing it up here. Bam. That's just one path.
I caught a couple rubber guard submissions tonight. Fuck, was it lunch class? I think it was lunch class. I dead orchard somebody and I was like, yeah, yeah. They were scared to pull their elbows back because I was talking about like wrist locking people and doing some other fancy shit. So because they didn't pull their elbows back, I was able to crawl my legs all the way up to the dead orchard and the triangle choke where both arms are inside and double arm barred him, and I felt good about myself.
So many different paths.
All right, guys, I just want to quickly let you all know about my
Fuck
new
you.
Patreon YouTube links on the video.
Every single one of my rubber guard masters, all the top rubber guard players, it all starts off the same, mission control, but everybody goes to a different spot. There's parts of rubber guard, new parts that I don't even know how to do yet. I got students that are way more flexible than I am, doing crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. It's so vast and so complicated. It's huge. But at the very least, you can go mission control and throw elbows. At the very least, especially if you're a Muay Thai fighter. Especially. All right, and that's where we're gonna start. We're just gonna start really simple and just make sure everyone can get into full guard here. I want you just to everyone to control the neck just like this and have full guard here. And then from here, he's got both his hands on my chest like this with his elbows out. He's playing good defense. He's safe here. I'm not gonna be able to, his arms aren't like this. If his arms were like this, I'd go right for an armbar right here. Right, so he's playing basic good defense. So really, all we're gonna do is go from here to put your foot on the hip, scoot your butt out if you need to, and bring your leg up, wrist to ankle, and it's like a plum clinch here. You see this? My arm isn't right here. See this? Boom. Wrist to
Not everyone's that fucking flexible, Eddie. Or I should say dexterous. I'm flexible enough. Yeah, I'm technically flexible enough. My leg could go into that position, but I can't get my leg in that position without pulling it into that position. And then he said, move your hips here. All he did was swivel them back and forth. He didn't even cut an angle. Fuck you, Eddie. We can't fucking do that. That's not cool, bro. Anyways, this little neck clinch with your elbows inside the shoulders. This was the first aha epiphany moment I had. Not this video. I don't know if I've seen this one before or not. This was the first aha epiphany moment that I ever had though about rubber guard was that when you fire the foot up, your elbow should be wedged in like the front of their shoulder, and that's what'll trap them there.
right, boom, bam, and then bah, 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 bam, and then zombie, and then we're just gonna get here. I just want to make sure we can get here. All right? Because the reason why I want this arm out of the mix here is so now he can't posture out. At this point here, if he's really, really strong, he can. It can be. Nothing's guaranteed here. He's got both. I want now he can't posture out. Very hard. Now he's getting deeper and deeper. All right? So, very basic. Everybody here is going to leave with at least this here. Boom. Bah, 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 bah. Boom. That's it. You want extra control? This is called the double bag here. Boom. You're safe here. You can just wait for a ref stand-up. This wrestler trying to take you down, he's afraid of your Muay Thai, just wrap him up. Every time you take him, wrap him up. All right, so we're here.
I was about to say something. I'm gonna make a video on it later, so it's kind of irrelevant. But like, it's how I watched a video of Eddie like a super old video of him that's like almost grainy, black and whitey type video of him breaking people down to this position. And it's something that he does with his legs and his feet that's a little bit different. But I'm gonna make a video on it eventually, so it's not that important.
You can put your foot on the hip first and scoot your butt out.
Unless you really want to know, I'll tell you.
Your leg's gonna come up as high as possible over his neck right here. See that? Real simple. Boom! Changes a little bit.
Also, watching this makes me want to just like sit in this fucking chair and like try to pull my foot into my shoulder and over my head and shit.
And your instinct should be, bah, if you're doing MMA, just throw elbows. These are legal. You can do that. These are legal all day. Bah, 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 and then boom. Now we're here. All right, so it's mission control elbows, and this move is called the zombie. This move is called the zombie. But the position after the zombie here, this is called New York. It's not mission control. It's not the same. If you look at the what position, he's in mission control. Oh, now he's in New York. So if someone's telling you over the phone, what's going on now? He's in New York now. You should go, oh, cool, beautiful, beautiful. Oh no, he's back in mission control. Damn. He's in New York. Cool. Did he clear the neck yet? Boom, he cleared the neck. Bam, good. So just by knowing the names of the positions, you know that he's getting deeper and deeper. You understand? Just that right there. Everyone should be able to do it. Unless you weigh 400 pounds and you're 5'8", and then they're gonna work out for you. You're playing butterfly dog the rest of your life. You understand? I'm gonna do one more. Let's just make sure. It seems easy, but we just gotta make sure that we're not grabbing the foot like this, or like this, or like that, or like this. Perfect mission control is wrist to ankles. I should be able to make a fist here. I'm on the inside of the ankle ball. My right arm is just like a plum clinch. I got my forearm in his collarbone here. I'm not like this. I'm like this. Boom.
Does anybody know if a plum clinch is a Muay Thai thing before I look it up? He said, I got my hands here just like a plum clinch. Unless I'm hearing that wrong. It sounds like he's saying PLUM clinch. I don't know if I'm hearing that wrong or. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Plum clinch. It would make sense. He's at a fucking. I see Muay Thai, Tiger Muay Thai martial arts. Oh, he's in fucking Thailand, teaching the Tiger Muay Thai people his rubber guard. Plum clinch. I'm assuming it's a Muay Thai thing. I'm not sure though.
So it's just bam, boom, blip, 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 boom. That's it. One more time. Here. See, this control is good control, but it's temporary. He's gonna be able to push his head out, and then you gotta go back and grab him again. This is better. Still temporary. His hands are still on my chest. He can still push. He can still push. But once I go here now, he can't push. And his arm is out of the mix. Out of the mix. He can't punch us on the mat. It's hard to push with one arm. He still can. Yes, he can still push. He can still push. But once I go here now, he can't push. And his arm is out of the mix.
I was just rewinding it because I was curious if he switched his ankles on the invisible collar, because I've done that before. If you've never played rubber guard, a lot of the time I don't teach anything past mission control and New York, and then I would just pull the foot in front of the face and attack the omoplata, or I would meat hook and do the triangle. I never teach invisible collar or anything else because I can kind of do it, but it's very grainy to me, so I never get into depth with it.
Still temporary. His hands are still on my chest. He can still push. He can still push. But once I go.
But I've jumped into this before, this invisible collar like this, and have switched the cross of my ankles. I don't know if it's correct or not. It looks like it's not. Eddie is the king of this, so yeah.
Oh, here now, he can't push. And his arm is out of the mix. Out of the mix. He can't punch us on the mat. It's hard to push with one arm. He still can, but it's hard. And there's guys that are really good at stacking. The fight's not over because you have this position. Guys on top can stack and smash. But when they're stacking and smashing, they ain't punching. You understand what I'm saying? Let them stack and smash. Let them smash your face to the... There's times where you've just been smashing like, I'm used to getting smashed. Expect it, embrace getting smashed. You're just grappling. How are you going to finish him if he's got his posture? If he's got posture, how are you going to finish him? You have nothing. You might be able to throw a triangle up. But you know how low percentage that is? I got to break... My whole goal right here is not rubber guard right now. It's to break his posture. And keep his posture broken. Boom. And then keep it, bam. And then we're here. And then we're... Oh, I'm sorry. You okay?
He fucking accidentally threw an actual elbow on his ass. That's funny. All right. Hmm. So the goal is, wait, he's doing mission control. So he plays mission control and then invisible collar without the arm cleared.
And then we're... Oh, I'm sorry. You okay? And then we're here.
And then he clears. Yeah. Interesting. I'll have to play with this. This isn't what I do. Like I said, I can do invisible color. I did it today to go. I went invisible color to Dead Orchard. I think at lunch class. But I think I need to play more with the invisible collar and then zombie that arm to the outside. So I'm in New York, but with the invisible collar, and then attack from there. I don't think I do that. So this is something I need to improve on for sure. Faux show. What type of video do I want to watch for this? Again, if anybody wants to see something specific, I will show it.
Representing 10th Planet, we got Richie Martin.
Yeah, see, he doesn't play invisible collar. Three times now, I think. Yeah, I think it's been three times. He fires into regular rubber and he cups the fuck out of the head with his right hand. Look at that. Just palming that hand, trying to stick his middle finger in the guy's ear. Look at that palm in the face. Oh, he's got that deep hook on the far leg. It's funny that we just watched a Eddie Bravo video on um, what can I think? Oh, we just watched an Eddie Bravo video, the first one, not the last one. And he taught the cocoon on it being like an over-under position. And now this is like the cocoon, the 10th planet code. And then it's double overhooks. It's like totally different, but I'm just nitpicking. I do like that detail. I don't know if most people can do that though. like double overhooks and then just pull their foot out and put it on my hip without like stretching them first. And usually it's hard to stretch hoop when you have overhooks. So, anyways. This is what I do. I have the one rubber guard and one knee hug to help me not tear my knee. See, this is all right. I guess it's just stylistically different because they're calling this the carny, the rubber guard trap. It's the boogeyman's trap. But this is how I play. I try to get my elbow in the face. A lot of the times I'll release my knee hug to post my left hand on their face, on their temple, and then I'll replace my left hand with the elbow that Boogie just basically put in this dude's temple to pull his foot in front of the face. But this is what I do. Kung Fu move. That's funny. The music in the background of this video makes me feel like this is like the music I need to play when I'm like taking a shit, but I'm sweating, and I'm like dun 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 dun, like battling demons. Anyways, he extends his left leg into the neck, creates separation. This is also what I do. I get all the way under my hip. Maybe I took unintentionally, intentionally, whatever, took a lot of my shit from watching Boogie play from this quintet. I don't do the neck hug and I don't extend. He's fucking fully extended on his leg. Two things I don't do: the little face grab, the ear grab, and then the extension of this leg. I don't do those. It's funny, I was shit talking breakdown videos. I actually don't mind this one. I think it's more annoying when other people are talking over stuff and it's like not what I'm trying to think about. And this is all the shit that I am trying to think about. So this is actually a good one. Just so refreshing watching a guy with skill instead of a roided up BJJ practitioners who say it's all technique. I mean, yeah, yeah, I agree. Oh God. Okay, last rubber guard video. The Hindi lutein or the Benetti guillotine.
Hey, what's up? I'm Ben Eddy. We're here at 10th Planet Austin. If you want to follow me, I have my YouTube channel, Ben Eddy Bravo, and my Instagram, Ben Eddy Tempe. But today, I want to show you my Hindula-tine, the move that I'm kind of known for. So it's a leg in guillotine. It's basically the same as your arm out guillotine, but your leg's going to be inside of the equation. And the butterfly now. I'm going to go foot on the hip. I'm going to cycle over like this, start playing high guard. Now we're here, I'm going to switch from this position.
Again, anyone can stop me at any time. and ask a question or ask me to research something else, I'm just gonna keep researching whatever's on my mind at the moment. Close guard's been on my mind, so I'm gonna stick with that for now. So, if someone has a question about something, submission, escape, whatever, I can answer it, or I can answer it and pull up videos to help show or show you where I got information from. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on.
In the meat hook. So I reach over, grab this meat hook, controls his posture if he tries to posture out and everything. Okay, we're here. I can now pass off from this meat hook into the guillotine. So the reason why I'm playing this in general is because it breaks his posture. You know, like let's say if I was just here in an overhook, I might not be able to wrap his head. You know, his posture might be too tall, and I can't just simply wrap it for a guillotine. But now, if I grab him in this meat hook, if he tries to get away, he can't. I can force him into the guillotine. Right? So the leg is forcing him into the guillotine.
Mm. Already, he kind of like tricep strikes his foot. This is not what I do. This is new slash different. So, not that I've ever hit this. People always ask about it because it sounds crazy and it is crazy. And they've seen footage of Benetti hitting this and they're like, Coach, how do you do this? And I'm like, I can't do it either. So, fuck you. But so elbow strike more of the top of the foot and then reach through the meat hook.
And then now I can switch from here to hugging my knee. I can roll this hand here into the guillotine. And then now, if he tries to pass or do whatever, he's pretty stuck. Doesn't really matter. I can take this hand with palm up. I reach in. I find that okay grip, and I lift right here. Very tight blood choke. It takes a lot of time though. When you watch this on a film, you'll see the guy will try and survive for 20-30 seconds. It takes a while, but it always gets it. So the guillotine, the grip is like this. It's okay grip. That's what I'm reaching in for, like that. Now, if I'm here and I'm going for this guillotine, if he brings his hand in to try to defend, he just gave me a triangle. So I can also let go and set up the triangle like this. I can try and finish with this reverse triangle, wrong side triangle. I like to just grab this S grip and squeeze and turn like this, or you'll see me hit like the punch choke. But yeah, I just switch into the regular triangle. One thing I like is if they do stand up and try to get out of this, you grab this tricep like this, and then you reach over. And this is a nice way to finish like this. But yeah, the Hindulitin goes to the triangle really well. I might not have the head wrapped. His posture might be tall, his head might be tall, right? So I don't have the head wrapped. So I'm using the meat hook to control that posture, and then I'm passing that off.
Hello? Yeah.
Like this. Hugging the knee, getting the hand in, and then turn the palm up.
So not reaching over the foot, but elbow striking the top of the foot, and then palm up as you send the hand into the upside down. Okay grip. S grip.
Guillotine, and we lift.
And before the comment section says, "Oh, this is a demo move that would never work," how often have you hit this thing?
1,000 million times.
Yeah, 80cc opens, high level competitors.
Especially in the gym, people don't expect it, and yeah, I mean you're not gonna know it until you felt it. So it's reliable. It's a very reliable move, but every submission is not that great. Position is always king. So.
It's a funny way to end the video. It's funny. Funny, funny, funny. I like these masterclass videos that Homeboy's posting. Oh, I'm probably gonna go till midnight on studying and then call it. I've already studied today like over an hour before I started live streaming, so now I'm at like 2.5 hours. So I'll put in 3 and then I'll call it. Treating it like I'm clocking into a job. Um, Again, if there's anything specific people want me to research, or footage you want me to break down, certain video. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see if there's a video I haven't seen about Jason Rouse K guard. Some basic ones
Right, so
first.
from this kind of headquarters position, a common thing we will run into, once this knee comes to the inside of my leg, he inverts the knee inside, just so we understand for the purpose of the instructional. This is what I'm in K guard. A lot of times I do want to preemptively address this, like maybe as he goes to the position, I can start to stack his hips up, put his legs above his head. But once he does successfully invert that knee inside, I then have to start to address this position a little bit differently right here. So understanding when I'm in the underhook de la diva, I'm addressing this one way. When that knee comes to the inside, things change, and now I have to change the way I'm dealing with this position. So this is another extremely common position we're going to.
Damn, I forgot this detail. Jason's talked about this in the past. When he plays K guard, he tries to drop his knee to the floor and he tries to hook the K guard foot on the knee and he doesn't try to keep it on the hip. Because when you defend K guard, what you want to do is hip thrust the foot off of your hip, the inside foot. And when you have the foot down by the knee, like this gentleman has it, um, like when they hip thrust, it's not effective. It's like when you're in high mount, it doesn't fucking do anything if the bottom person hip thrusts because you're not on their fucking hips. So the foot's not on the hip because he dropped it all the way down to the knee. So
When I'm in the position, but once he does successfully invert that knee inside.
see how on this one he inverted the knee inside and he put the foot on the hip, and then Jason hip thrusts.
I then have to start to
And he did a little hip thrust and he pushed the ankles
address
down.
this position a little bit differently right
So
here. So understanding when I'm in the underhook de la diva, I'm addressing this one way. When that knee comes to the inside, things change.
yeah, but I remember there's not this video, but a different video. Jason Rao talked about how to hold the K guard, and he likes to hold it down by the knee like this, rather than having your inside of or your knee touching the inside of their knee. It should be almost like your foot is on top of their kneecap, and your knee just drops behind their calf, basically. But I don't know. I'll have to look up a video on that. That's a detail I forgot.
And now I have to change the way I'm dealing with this position. So this is another extremely common position we're going to end up in, especially if we're in more upright posture. We're going to cover the different postures in a second. But if I'm more upright like this, K guard is much more available to him. Versus if I'm in a more low posture, my passing positions are to change a little bit, and we're going to deal with different things for the person on bottom. So especially when I'm more upright, you'll look to transition to that underhook de la diva, and now we're potentially dealing with K guard and knowing how to deal with that position.
Okay, very quick video, easy.
I'm going to K guard when my partner is on his knees. He's driving into me, giving me difficulties. I'm going to put this butterfly hook in, and I roll my head to the inside, get my leg out, and enter saddle. I'm going
Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking Jason Rao.
to K guard when my partner's on his knees. He's
So you're trying to go to K guard and the person stacks you.
driving into me, giving me difficulties. I'm going to put this butterfly hook in, and I roll.
You come off the far hip, and then it's got a pummel inside as a butterfly. And then you spin under.
Roll my head to the inside, get my leg out.
And do a backwards roll into a saddle.
I'm going to K guard.
So stupid. Most underrated grappler, true. What the fuck? I'm gonna assume it's not a covered swastika, I see. Even so, I'd probably wear spats if I didn't decide to get a tattoo that looks like a swastika. It's a Rick and Morty tattoo. Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't realize it's just a rapper Super Bowl t-shirt. How silly of me.
My partner's on his knees. He's driving into me, giving me difficulties. I'm going to put this butterfly hook in, and I roll my head to the inside, get my leg out, and enter saddle. I'm going to K
Now I feel like I want to find this swastika or the Rick and Morty tattoo.
guard when my partner's on his knees. He's driving into me, giving me difficulties. I'm going to put this butterfly hook in, and I roll my head to the inside,
Not that one.
get my leg out, and enter.
I don't fucking. I'm supposed to be studying, not looking for swastika tattoos.
My partner's doing K-guard to me. He kicks his leg all the way through to break me down. I backstep. I feed the heel right here. Now I'm going to roll through all the way over.
Yeah, this is. I learned this just so you guys can watch this.
My partner's doing K-guard to me.
This is true for, yeah. See, even in this video, the way that they're drilling the person that the uki he's using as they enter K guard here has the foot down by the knee, and he's actually not gable gripping behind the knee like I do it.
He kicks his leg all the way through to break.
Ah, that's the difference. He just said it. I didn't even catch it the first time. I slowed the video down and stopped it for a different fucking reason. Uh-huh. To break me down, he kicks his leg through all the way to the far side.
Break me down. I backstep. My partner's doing K-guard to me. He kicks his leg all the way through.
So their version of breaking him down is kicking the leg all the way through. Interesting. I don't play this. I can't give any advice on this. I don't do this yet. I'll have to try this. It's probably more successful against very high level people, but I've hit this backstep inside heel hook before, so it's because of this video.
Through to break me down. I backstep. I feed the heel right here.
Sick. What the fuck is happening with my computer?
It's pretty far back. I'm like, we feel like we're unable to get to that leg, because I can throw saddle position right here. So when I do this, it's definitely not my favorite option, just because in general I don't like saddle as much as 50-50, but basically I'm going to throw this hook to his far leg, and then I'm going to pull my right knee around the corner like this. So I have the hook on the far leg, and I have my right hook behind that hamstring as well. Saddle position. Again, it's pretty far back.
So reverse De La
I
Hiva.
feel like we're unable to
Jason Rowe, genius, reverse K guard. Okay, so he's in reverse De La Hiva, and you're calling it reverse K guard. Sure. Oh no, wait, he did pull his. Okay, I'm wrong. I'll never question Jason Rowe again. He is not in reverse De La Hiva anymore. He pulls the hook out and he goes shallow, so the outside of his foot touches the inside of his knee. How did he even do that? He's in reverse De La Hiva. He's elbow deep.
It's pretty far back. I'm like, we feel like we're
Oh, it's because they backed up, so we don't have space. That's why. Got it. So you invert and retract your leg
unable to
until the side of your foot touches. Okay.
get to that leg, because I can throw saddle position right here. So when I do this, it's definitely not my favorite option, just because in general I don't like saddle as much as 50-50, but basically I'm going to throw
And you're basically doing like a seated MNRA
this
roll.
hook to his far leg, and then I'm going to pull my right knee around the corner like this. So
Okay, yeah. Then it's basically a seated MNRA roll. So your knee jams itself behind the far thigh. The top leg just spins through the middle. Still crazy.
K-guard, if I can ever get my knee inside his knee, I can use this to make his leg light and pass.
See now, why is it in the other video? Or I guess this one he made the leg light. I was gonna say, why is it in the first video? The dude tucked the leg all the way through the center to bring him down. And this one, all he did was bring his knee inside, and he did it the way that I do it, instead of bringing that foot all the way down to the knee. I don't know, bro.
Pass the leg to the other side. Once we're here, I'm going to switch to X guard on the far leg to off balance him so I can throw backside
Oh, what the fuck?
light and pass the leg to the other side. Once
So he passes the leg over. I usually do knee bars and back takes
we're
here.
here, I'm
He goes back to regular X guard.
going to switch to X guard on
X guard with an ankle grip and he
the far leg
stretches.
to off
And then he refires into backside
balance
50-50.
him so I can throw backside and catch my partner's heel. I'm going to be teaching a camp in Leuven, Belgium, June 9th to June 14th. So if you guys want to come, it's going to be me and Owen O'Flanagan. We're going to be covering K-Guard for 5 hours a day for 5 days.
Jesus. Ugh.
So specifically with these standing positions, we're a lot of times looking to set this reap up. So I off balance, undercross. Now, 1, 2, I pull my knees to my chest, throw this across, that's gonna gain my heel exposure.
Fucking undercross read. I have played this from seated position, never standing. It's where your arm reaches under the knee line. You grab your own thigh, and then you use your knee to lever their knee forward. But I've never done this from
So
standing.
specifically with these standing positions, we're
So single leg X, he fires into double outside
a
Ashi,
lot of times looking to set this
double outside.
reap up. So I off balance.
He does a shoulder post and a hip thrust to off balance so that there's a little bit of space between the hips and the knee. He shoots elbow deep behind the knee,
Undercross.
and he calls it an undercross as he grabs his own shin. When I do this from seated, I grab my thigh. So the undercross, well, I guess it technically could be either, but he might specify that it's to the shin. I'm assuming from standing it has to be from the shin. From seated, I'll do it on my own thigh.
Now, 1, 2, I pull my knees to my chest, throw this across, that's gonna gain my heel exposure. So specific.
Fascinating. Whew.
So the more he turns his knee out, like the harder it's going to be for me to get that angle, right? If he backs up a little bit, the more he backs.
If I do this, does the stream follow the new tab? It does. Okay, never mind.
See, it's very easy for me to bring my knee to the inside. The more his knee is turned out, like it's going to be a little bit tough. And that's not to say that I won't still go for it, but there's like a certain break point where I feel like it's going to be kind of tough for me to hit. So when I do this, I want to make sure I'm elbow deep, and this will not work if his toes are totally free. So if he turns his toes all the way out, we're going to something else right here. But as he's kind of squaring up, a lot of times his toes will still be under my like shoulder, tricep area. So what I want to do is I want to get this leg as high as possible. And instead of straightening my leg, I'm going to start to back heel. And a lot of times he will be pushing my knee, so I'm going to have to kind of counteract that. I might adjust the hand. And I want to kind of back heel and cover his knee. And then I'm going to lock my hands palm to palm right here. So this foot can do a few things.
Oh, this. I fucking saw this video. I've never tried this. I've watched this video like 5 times. I've still never tried it because the way that I play K-guard is I'm gable gripping behind the back of their knee and I'm crushing their knee down straight, which bends their hip and twists it away. It's always been safe for me, so I've always gone back to that exact style. I've never done this style. I've seen this video a bunch. He's gonna like bridge his hips up and over his shin, over the other guy's shin, and it's gonna like force the guy down to a knee. Fuck me. I knew there was something I was
I
forgetting.
can push on the far hip. I can also hook inside of his knee, depending on what he's doing. If he's pushing into me, I'm going to push on the far hip. If I feel he's starting to backstep, I'll hook on the knee, just depending on what he's doing. And now I lift my hips up a little bit. I pull with this grip, and then I sag my hips down to the mat, and this bends his leg.
Yeah, see, he kind of like threw his hips up, upwards and to the right at the same time as he pulled that gable grip, pulled the ankle to him.
Position right here. And I still have this scoop on the leg. Once we're here, we have a few options, but we're going to hunt for the back initially. So when I have this, my right hamstring.
Oh yeah, because the right foot would have to be, the right leg would have to be out to do backside 50-50 saddle.
My right heel
it's heavy, and I'm torquing his hip. When I go for this, I gotta hold this leg to some degree. A lot of you guys are gonna do this, you're gonna go to sit up and grab the back and either run away, or worse, he's gonna square up with me. So if I let go of this, he squares up, gets an underhook, body locks me. So we're here, as I sit up, I'm gonna shorten this hand, so I still have the ankle, but I'm wrist deep, and I reach around his waist, and I bring my knee right in his belly.
Oh shit, Jason's giving him a reach around.
So I have this reverse type.
Let's fucking go.
Anyways, I'm trying to get my hand inside his hamstring, then my knee is kind of propping his hips up right here. And the most basic option is I'm just putting this butterfly hook in, I'm gonna scoot back, hand comes out, I lift.
So let's see here. Gable grip at the ankle, far leg kind of irrelevant. And then you're hip thrusting and kind of leg pressing. Instead of curling, you're kind of leg pressing out.
And now I lift my hips up a little bit, I pull with this grip, and then I sag my hips down to the mat.
Yeah. Fucking sick. Jason is a wizard. 10 more minutes.
Okay, guys, I'm here today with Jason Raw. Huge honor for me.
Standing, I'm gonna go into this K guard position. So now I'm gonna get up on my left shoulder.
There it is. See how he plays the K guard on the thigh, and he plays elbow deep at the ankle rather than playing gable grip at the knee like I do. Fuck, I gotta play different, or I gotta try it at least. If nothing else, I gotta try it.
Shoulder, and I can start to attack this back.
Okay, so that is what he swings over and he stretches while he's up on his head.
Backside 50-50 position, and we get into our backside 50-50 from K guard. So this is one of our main entries here. But commonly, you know, especially these days, people are getting much more advanced dealing with this. So commonly, when I get this underhook deli hiva, I'm going to start to invert my knee inside. And Placido takes what's called a cross scoop, where he comes under this leg right here and scoops around my hip. So now, when I try to go to that K guard with that scoop, it really kind of messes up my position. So I still have this kind of foot that's on the inside right here. So I'm
He's gonna pass the
space
foot over her.
foot, and I'm gonna throw my right foot to the inside. So he
Holy
has
shit,
this
am I
scoop.
wrong?
I grab his elbow.
I didn't mean his foot. I didn't predict that correctly. I thought he meant he was gonna hip thrust and pass Placido's leg to his right shoulder instead of passing his own leg through Placido's hips
I
here.
hold onto his leg, and I make space to throw my right foot, and I hook his far ribs. So when I do this, I have to maintain control of this leg. If I let go of his leg entirely, he can start to move around the corner and start to come around and pass me. So I maintain control of this leg, and now I just straighten my right leg and pull the elbow, tap at the same time, and we apply like an Americana lock.
What?
His arm right here. In the event that maybe this isn't that tight and
The
he's
fuck?
going all the way out, now we're just back in our backside 50-50 position, and we kind of just get the movement that we were looking to get all along.
One more time, Jason.
Yeah. So, if we're in maybe a no-gi deli hiva, I grab the back of his knee, and I just scoop his leg. So I have this underhook deli hiva position.
I think that reverse knee grip to initially start setting up the K guard is important to help move your hips out. I might have done this unintentionally before, but being intentional with my jiu-jitsu, you gotta try that.
What I'm doing is I'm going to this K guard, and ultimately I want to throw my right leg all the way around the corner. And there's a bunch of different variations that we go over to get into this position and then break our partner down. And now we're in a backside 50-50 position. But commonly when this happens, he'll take this right hand and he'll go to this cross scoop. So now he's controlling this leg. So here I have a lot of difficulty getting my leg in the right position. So I just push with my left foot that's on the inside, and I grab his elbow, and I weave my right leg inside his armpit. Just like this. So now I hold the elbow, I hold the scoop, I extend my right knee down to the mat. If I just extend kind of this way, this is not very tight. So I point my knee down and extend my leg. I'll just do it one more time. And we get this kind of Americana pressure
Man, that's incredible.
on his arm right here. If he manages to pull his arm out, now I have the space to throw this leg over, and we're back.
Uh, I don't know why. I feel like as an ultra heavyweight grappler, that Americana wouldn't work. I don't know. My mind just doesn't want to Doesn't want to accept that it would work.
Okay, guys, I'm here today for Jason. I have my legs on the inside, and I have some type of Achilles grip on his second leg right here. So one of my favorite things
Last
to do in
video
this position is
for the night,
switch from the cross ashi to attack
unless someone has a
outside
question.
hook right here. So we're going to use a reap variation because if I'm in the cross ashi without the second leg and I pass his leg to the other side, I now have a reap on this leg that I was attacking, and it makes it easy to expose the heel. So we're going to lock a laces up from the cross ashi and then set that up. So with the second leg controlled, it's because I have this leg control, it's pretty easy for me to lock what's called the shoelaces. So there's a few ways I can do this. For now, I'm just going to kick him in this direction. This is going to off balance him when I lock a tight triangle and I fold my right foot all the way under his butt. So my right foot is now all the way under Placido's hips. So this gives me an additional wedge under his hips. It's very, very tight position. So I'll just show that again.
Never done that.
I'm initially controlling the second leg. I give him a little kick in this direction.
Kicking the ass to triangle and tuck the foot underneath.
Like this. So now,
Never done that.
I'm going to let go of this
Snoo.
second leg. When I do that, I just want my knee to kind of come between his legs, just like this. So once I let go of this, if Placido doesn't hide his foot, I'm able to feed my inside heel hook. But most of the time, my partner is going to hide the foot. So when he does that, I just lean my chest back, and I pass this leg to the other side, like this. So I still have my shoelace position, but now I have the leg in the outside heel hook configuration instead of the inside heel hook. So if Placido goes to hide his foot right here, which would involve him turning on his right hip, it's very, very hard. I can come up with my elbow, and I can put a really big bend in his leg, like this, which will allow me to expose his heel. Now it's not that
Z-lock him
I
too.
reach back and I just throw my elbow right over the ball of his foot, and I catch his heel right here, and I fall down to my shoulder on this side. From this position, I can lock my hands together. When I finish, similar to most heel hooks, I'm having a rotational force in this direction, rotating his lower leg or his femur to my left, and rotating his shin to my right. So when I do this, I'm turning my knees up to the sky in conjunction with this turn, and I get a really tight heel hook right here. So what I like about this, because of the right foot right here,
I would have naturally gone belly down here, but cross oppositional forces between your legs and your torso makes a lot of sense.
here, if Placido goes to turn in this direction, I just turn my knees to the left. When he goes to try to turn, it's really difficult for him, and I can get really powerful finishing in this position right here.
One more time, Jason.
Of course. So we start in the cross ashi position with the second leg controlled. I have a tight Achilles grip. I'm going to kick Placido in this direction and lock a tight triangle and fold my right leg underneath, so I end up in this shoelace position. Before I let go of this leg, I just get my knee to the inside. Now I go for the heel hook. I know he's going to hide his foot, so I just lean straight back and pass his leg to the other side like this. Now I come up with my elbow to expose the heel, so I create a strong bend in his knee. Now I throw my right elbow back, and I catch the heel just like this. My second hand comes in, I connect, I can go wrist to wrist, or if I can't reach, I go palm to palm. Now I rotate my knees to the left as I rotate his heel to the right, and I get a really strong finish, just like this.
Okay, so for this one, you go hand to hand.
Poor Placido's like, fuck, tap, tap, fuck. Is there anyone else? Tap, tap. Yeah. What do you mean translate to English? That says tap, tap right there. Am I retarded? Poor Placido. Illegal, why? What? This is a read, bro. Poor Placido, yeah. The parents made all his opponents at trials because he understood this, and none of his opponents did. Yeah, Gordon submitted a Nikki run ACC by passing the foot to the outside like this, the exact same way.
I could go wrist to wrist sometimes because I feel very extended in this direction. It's hard to reach, so I could go wrist to wrist, but sometimes palm to palm is fine as well. And then rotate the knees. Get to right here. So if I lock this laces up, I roll all the way through, and like Placido doesn't.
I wonder if that's only for um how do I say it? I wonder if tucking your foot under the hip to have an extra lock on this hip is only for when you pass the foot from cross ashi or inside to the outside.
Let me bend right? Which is what happened. Obviously, it was illegal, but it was like, it was still executed.
Oh, and
in the
I remember
match.
the match, like Mika started and he got his sweep very quick and he was jumping around and then he kind of got there and he didn't even, he jumped.
Shit, son. Yeah. Also, the position to do Z-locks from the you go to saddle and then you lean back and pass the foot over the top. It's strong. I don't like to do Z-locks. I should do them more, but I don't like to do them because I feel I'm scared with my training partners. Trying to go slow on it is a difficult task. Okay. Well, it's good shit. Good studying. Got 2 hours in here. Got an hour in before, or an hour and some more. So got like 3 hours or 3.5 hours of studying today. I'd like to announce and start doing these little live streams of this. Hopefully, people can come back and watch them afterwards, and hopefully, people tune in when I do them. I'm going to be going on vacation here soon, so I'm not going to be posting for a tiny bit. I do have some stuff I recorded tonight that I'll be editing and posting still, but for the most part, I'll be taking a little bit of break from everything. Oh, only going to train one time or whatever while I'm in Vegas, so it's good shit, you guys. Oh no, don't download, delete. All right, good shit, y'all. Good night.